All right, everybody. I totally want to address this like shadow self stuff because not only do you see this in what Jordan Peterson was saying, but you see this in Hollywood nowadays. Like in Hollywood nowadays, they show the evil person as the strong person, and the good person is weak. And what is that? Is that cake?
Cake.
Oh my God, that's nice.
Right back the way.
And the good person is the weak person, right? And that's basically what Jordan Peterson was saying. It's like, oh, you have to, embrace the yin yang. You have to embrace your good self, but you also have to embrace the evil self within you. I think you've said before, oh, you got to be the monster in order to be the good man, right? And you totally see this time and time again. But like for me, it's like I want to talk about the I don't know if it's called the metaphysical or the ontological reality, okay, of it all, because when you look at evil, you see loneliness. You see people who are pretending, right? The evil man, the evil woman, they put on a false face of love, but they don't have any love within them. And since they don't have any love within them, they're alone. Though they surround themselves with laughter. And quote unquote friends. But many of these friends are stupid sheep that can't see people for who they are. And they're being manipulated. And there are no shepherds to save them from the wolves. Right? But these wolves are easy to see if you've been burned before. It's only after you get burned that you start to see the narcissist, that you start to see the haters, right? Because the hateful man is like a lot of the times the nationalist, right? And what does the nationalist do? The nationalist, he's defending his tribe, he's defending his family, and the hater is the defender. And he has to go out there and attack and kill somebody, right? And it's like, oh my God, you can love your tribe and not hate the other guy's tribe, right? Like you can still love your tribe without hating the other guy's tribe. But the nationalists, so the evil people, they put on a face. But that's what I want to talk about, is that the reality of this face is loneliness. These people, they pretend to have friends. They pretend to be loving. They pretend to be able to make a bond or a connection with another. but they're incapable of it. They're incapable of it. So this idea that you see in modern stories, like a lot of the modern stories coming out of Hollywood are, oh, the criminals, they're the fucking heroes. They're criminals and they're fucking heroes. And like I definitely agree with this criticism of good people, that they're weak, that you see in like the Game of Thrones, for instance, right? And that's why like this more nuanced view that I'm bringing to you with the whole. Moses stuff, my interpretation of Moses is very nuanced, but I would never ever tell you to be liars. Never. I don't think Moses was a liar. I'm not a liar. But there are certain people out there who don't deserve the truth. They don't deserve the truth because they don't care about it. They don't fucking care what's true or what's not. They're just fucking floating through life without thinking about it. And some people are just liars and they don't care about the truth. And so I would never tell, like, this is what I like, I'm not saying that Moses is a liar. I'm saying that the first law, right? The first law is all about the heart. And that's what Moses was teaching. A lie is of the heart. Moses can never be a liar because his heart is not a liar. It's just he's become wiser and he's realized, hey, These people are sheep. They're stupid. They don't deserve the truth. Like Moses wasn't even the one doing it all. It was Aaron that was the one who was front and center, not Moses. Moses was in the background. This cheesy Charlton Heston shit is not biblical reality. Moses was the guy who was quiet in the background. Like, that's the fucking story. Oh my God, not this fucking Charlton Heston shit. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's just like Nietzsche would criticize good people as weak, you know, and I would agree with him, and I think Moses would agree with him as well. Because Moses wasn't weak. Moses was the guy who was going to kill the taskmaster. He was going to go up to the two Jews and settle their dispute, and go up to the one Jew and say, hey, you shouldn't treat other Jews like this. Right? He's the fucking balls. Right? But when he does what's right, he gets burned. He gets burned because he was trying to tell truth to a man who doesn't care about truth. And he learned his lesson. And he's like, fuck this guy. Why should I tell him the truth? And that's what's interesting about Samuel, because Samuel says you have to follow the prophet's law, right? It's very funny, right? You have to follow the prophet's law. You have to, but that's totally what all this is touching upon. Damn, it's like, yeah, no, good men nowadays are weak little bitches. They totally are. Good men nowadays are totally weak little bitches. But that is not a condemnation of God. Okay, the people who follow God out there nowadays do not follow God. They follow a weak little bitch that they think is God. But that's not the true God. The true God is righteous. Right? And again, if you look at the reality that a loving man or a loving woman is capable of a bond, while a narcissist or a hater or a greedy man, right? All of these toxic people, they're incapable of bonds. They pretend to have bonds, but they don't. These are all false bonds. And because we believe that they're true bonds, we sit back and we're like, oh, the evil man is so powerful. Right? Because we're not following the law. Fuck, man. And that's why this Jordan Peterson guy, he really pisses me off. And so does Jung when they talk about embrace your shadow self. Embrace your shadow self. Embrace evil. That's what they're saying. Embrace. In order to be a strong man, you have to embrace evil. No, but if you look at the reality of it, a loving man or a loving woman is capable of a bond, while a hater, a murderer, is incapable of a bond. And it is the bond and it is the capability of the bond which dictates success or failure in this world. It is not life or death, and it is not money or poverty which dictates success. Right? The loving man who dies is successful. Right? Like I'm an agnostic. I don't know what's out there. I think there's something out there on the other side, but I do believe in a good side and a bad side. And if there's a good side, then that side is loving. And as long as you are loving in this life, you are successful whether you Live or die, whether you're rich or poor. If you're loving, you are successful because you're capable of a bond. You're not fake. You're not a false face. You're not a false face, because that's what the shadow self is. The shadow self is a false face. It's not strength, as Jordan Peterson would tell us, or the Gnostics would tell us. Because the Gnostics look at this world and they say, this world is evil. While Moses looks at this world and says, no, God created this world, therefore this world is good. This world is a good world. We should not be throwing shade upon other people. And guilt and blame, we should not be the accuser. You know, and unless someone committed murder, then we can be the accuser. But it's like, no, like if you look at the reality, divorced from afterlife reward or punishment, if you look at just the simple reality, divorced from afterlife reward or punishment, love is always rewarding. Whether you live or die, love is always rewarding, and the fakers, the pretenders, the shadow self is always a failure. No matter how much they want to pretend to be the winners, they're always the failure, because they will always be alone. They will always be alone. Because you cannot have family and hatred. You cannot do it. You cannot have family and genocide and murder. You cannot do it. And fuck this Jordan Peterson guy. Man, no, you do not embrace, like, everything that I'm saying. Like, I know I'm saying a lot of shit, and I'm calling Moses a liar, but no, I would never tell any of you to lie. I'm saying that Moses is making a distinction. And that Moses at heart is a truthful man who's fighting for goodness and justice, and he's fighting for his Jewish people, and he wants his Jewish people to be strong and amazing and awesome. But he learned his lesson. He learned his lesson. You do not be a Babylonian oaf, a Babylonian fool. And so he became wise. He's a good man who became wise. And a good man who's wise is powerful, just like Abraham. Abraham was a good man who was wise, and he was powerful, because if he cursed you, he would get your blood on his hands, and he would love it. He would enjoy it. He would not groan. He would not, why are the bad people winning and the good people losing? No, he would get your blood on his hands and be like, fuck yeah, fucking suck it, you little bitch, you murderous little shit. No. If you look, and again, we're getting into deeper shit here, but if you just get away from that shit and just look at the reality of love, a loving man or a loving woman is capable of a bond. They are capable of a bond. And someone who's hating on you, or someone who's giving you a false face of love, they are incapable of a bond, and they lost. They got their reward, which was physical and material, but they lost when it comes to the other side of the veil. Because The creatures on the other side of the veil who are loving will be attracted to you if you're loving. Whether you win or lose in this life, as long as you are loving, you will fucking succeed. Because you're capable of a bond. Like, that's just fucking psychology. While all of the other toxic people out there, they're incapable of a bond, though they succeed. Damn, it's all just fucking so simple. And this, not only this, but there's a lot of movies out there nowadays that are like, oh yeah, the criminal, they're the fucking heroes. The criminals are the fucking heroes. Ugh, ugh. Like, they fucking totally ruined, what's her name? Haley, the Joker's girlfriend. Like, the Joker's girlfriend in the original fucking cartoon, she was a psychologist. She was an intelligent woman. She wasn't this, like, she wasn't for the streets like that modern whatever. Like, I haven't even seen it. Maybe it's good, but whatever. I don't want to see it because they totally ruined it. Oh my god. But it's like, what am I talking about right now? No, but that's what that movie is trying to do. That movie is trying to say, oh hey, evil is strength. Evil is strength. And goodness is weakness. Right. And, I totally agree that there's a lot of weak ass good people out there. But if you look at it just fucking metaphysically or ontologically or whatever, the loving man or woman is capable of a bond. And the hater is incapable of a bond, and everything that you see, all the celebrations, all the smiles, it's all false. And it is not real. And that's not real success. That is not real success. Just because the good man is murdered and the wicked man lives and succeeds. No, that is a totally materialistic view of it all. And materialism is just plain stupid.